girl. Hey, how's it feel to be a Captain Man?
I mean, I wish I felt like that.
Are
sometimes.
you a trad wife yet?
Yeah, no. I'll keep that in mind when I go purchase groceries today with my money.
Girl, what we should do whenever we go out to a restaurant, go and drag and say trad wife party of two.
We will be eating at the table.
We're
Just
using
so
our
you know.
husband's credit cards. That's why they have boys' names on them. They let us
This
go
one has-
out just this once.
I know. It's the only time we get every year.
It's our Rumspringer.
They hope we don't come back.
The flatulence is real bad. Oh, God. Where am I going with this? Hey, babe, how are things going? What's new with you? I'm lost.
Nothing. Just
show
like
I never watched.
me neither.
I was
yeah,
hoping
never
you
had-
had something more to say than that about it.
Never had a desire.
No,
You know,
it seemed very long.
I remember on season 2 when that first started. Somebody said something literally like somebody was like, "Yeah, it's so amazing," and blah blah blah. Blah. And so I'm kind of interested in what they're saying. And then they said, unfortunately, if you missed it like the first season, you're just going to be totally lost. And I said, well, but guess I won't be watching it. That was it. That's all I had to hear.
Did you ever watch Heroes? Save the Cheerleader?
Oh yeah, before it got terrible.
So you've only made it the first half of the first season?
No. I watched the second season too.
Okay. Girl,
and then it was just like
it was pretty bad by the end of the first season.
It was getting rough. I was like,
it was like
how do you take something that starts so strong?
Like the first 2 episodes were, but then it just went.
And then I like Heroes and Walking Dead for me, they broke the rule, which is if I stop caring about these characters and what happens to them, there's no point in me watching the show anymore.
That's the issue I have with a lot of like Marvel stuff, because they're just going to retcon it and it doesn't matter anymore, right?
Nobody's even a villain anymore.
That's what I'm hoping. The Agatha show that's coming out, because I love her and I love the character. Like this could be and I
want it to be good so
the
bad.
cast is fun.
I want it to be good so bad.
If they start marvelizing it about halfway through, it's going to be trash, right? Like they just need to make it be solely about her getting her powers back, and that's it.
Get her powers back, be silly, kind of dark, kind of scary.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, for God's sakes, it's got Patty LuPone in it. Which,
do you know when they first announced it, I almost like leapt out of my skin. I was so excited. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Patty LuPone getting sucked into the Marvel universe. Yes, please.
Girl, that's the only way you wouldn't have an allergy. Jumping out of your skin.
I don't. I'm gonna. Dear listeners, I have a lot of allergies. We haven't covered it a lot. Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of leeches, did you know
Wow.
that we have a Patreon? That's right, dear listeners. If you go to patreon.com, Mims and Maim, you can throw some money at Maim.
Yes.
Did you know that we have another podcast?
What?
That's right. It's called Baking Sugar. It's our Designing Women podcast. And dear listeners, we just started season 5 of Designing Women, which means we only have 2 seasons left. So we could actually finish something. And Maim, speaking of not finishing things, we are getting ready to resurrect our other 2 podcasts back from the dead. Dear listeners, later on in September, you will have We Object, our Alan McBeal podcast, and Over the Moon, our Moonlighting podcast, coming back to you monthly again. And if you're a dear patron, starting toward the end of September, you will have video of us recording them.
Yes.
Yes.
Not in drag.
Not in drag. No. We tried that.
We tried it. It was too cumbersome. It was too much.
It was too much.
I'm already in drag twice a week.
And I'm never in drag. It probably should be that we use our nice new cameras that we bought.
Yeah, since we did pay money for those.
I mean, they were on deep discount.
Shh.
Thanks.
Don't be talking about that deep D, honey. Don't be talking about that deep D all year.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do too.
Remember side, and that's a fact. Got some. Hey, babe.
Yes.
Babe.
Yes.
Where am I at with this? Did you know we have merchandise?
Yeah.
That's right. If you go to MimsMaim.com, you can maybe think about buying something. Hey, babe.
Yes.
Do you know what I love?
You love 5-star reviews.
You're right. It's not Grady, but it is 5-star reviews. They really help. Just period. This one's going to be a nonsense, babe. This is season 4, episode 19.
What's wrong?
Just another fish story. Hey, Maim. Oh, no, my cat's here. Hey, Maim. We're New York City.
New York City?
And do you know who the first listed cast is?
Who?
One Sonathan Bono.
Somebody call Chaz. Make sure Chaz listens to this episode.
I mean, what is Sonny short for? What do you know what Sonny is? Sonny his real name? It can't be
Sonny Bono. I don't know what Sonny Bono's real name is.
Full name. Oh, Salvatore Philip Bono.
Wow.
Yeah. Salvatore.
That's a much fancier name than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Salvatore.
It's there he and Cher. God.
Oh, Sonny. Why'd you have to go skiing?
We're at the back of the house.
Okay.
Of a restaurante.
Not a restaurante. That's Italian.
Well, no, this is not a restaurante. This is a restaurant. It's not an Olive Garden because when you're here, your family. Excuse me, I just burped. And there's an order of caviar out on the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no. And the guy is calling in and he's like, yeah, I've got the lobsters and caviar. I'll bring them over to you. Okay. Well, JB's in a cab. And we find out she's an investor in a restaurant name.
Interesting.
Yes. Because
she got that kind of money now. That money must be really rolling in.
It's a great idea.
Grady. My favorite.
Do you like Grady?
I love that character on here.
Oh, God.
I love his little goofball self.
Well, we're at the restaurant and Grady is outside in cowboy gear.
Yes. What is that?
What?
You're doing like the cowboy whistle now. He doesn't look terrible in the cowboy
He doesn't.
clothes.
He actually looks kind of cute. I mean, I'd do it, but I'm a whore.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, you should.
I mean, I've never thought of Grady as a handsome person, but he's okay looking.
Yeah, I mean, that ass is tappable.
Wouldn't kick him out. I probably wouldn't have him talk though.
God, no, he just complained about things the entire time.
Yeah.
And he wants a wife. Could you be a wife? We'll get to that.
Look at that, girl.
The music cues in this episode too. This is whoever directed and produced this episode is another fluffer. Like I
don't want to talk. I mean, like when we get to that section, that's a whole nother thing. I'm like, Lord Jesus.
So we find out he's getting married.
Oh wow, not married.
Yes, married to one Donna.
Wow. Donna.
She's an accountant too. The name of the restaurante is Alice's Farm.
Oh, okay. Farm to table?
Frozen fish, whatever.
With frozen fish and lobster?
Yeah, like lobster and caviar and meatloaf. What is this?
I had not even put those weird things together until we just said that. I was like, wait a minute, why is it?
Girl, it's like you're eating at the worst version of the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Like you've got this list of
I'm
things.
so confused now because that makes no sense. Why would it be called Allison's Farm? They make it seem almost like a southern kind of thing.
Now, girl, we've eaten in one of those restaurants. Like I've gone family style in a restaurant before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but then she has that accent too. Later, it's like
she loses it halfway through. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. They go inside and they can't. Chaz is the host.
Not Bono.
And
maybe this is where Chaz got that idea.
No, Chaz got that idea from their dead name.
Oh,
because their dead names.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but maybe they were watching this episode and they're like, you know what, Papa, can you hear me?
Probably not, because he was dead at the time. Are you okay over there? Do you believe in life after love, Maim?
Believe in love after life.
Anyway. Disenchanted Party of Two. Disenchanted Party of Two. Dear listeners, this is a carryover for our previous episode we just recorded that we're just going to like go and give names as we're checking into restaurantes. Well, Doug Brooks comes in. He's the manager, and he finds the reservation immediately. Is like, Chaz, it's right here. And all this time, Chaz's been letting important people in who have been subtly but not subtly handing him a brie to
very
go
like
to the table.
MTV style people too.
Yeah, that's Doug takes JB and Grady to the bar, and then a Madonna type comes on and gets seated immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are in the kitchen, and Alice, who's from New York, is looking at her burnt meatloaf. This poor set meatloaf, whatever food this is, like this gray styrofoam that they've put that's crumbling in front of them.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Doug comes back to the back. Is like, hey, Alice, their brother and sister, we find out. Hey, Alice, we need to buy Chaz out because he's selling seats at our restaurant. She's like, he brings in all the right people.
Oh.
I didn't see a black person there either. Did you?
Considering the style of food, which is even more surprising.
Girl, back when this was a few years ago, whenever I was in Philadelphia,
yes.
On the streets of Philadelphia.
On the streets of Philadelphia, honey?
Uh, I'm not a big Springsteen fan, but that is the worst.
You heard
song.
that's the next big biopic, like musical biopic.
Streets of Philadelphia?
No, they're gonna do a Springsteen biopic.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was talking to somebody that's a friend of my husband,
Mhm.
and I was talking about, the food in the South and like the diverse food, like we have a very diverse food culture.
Very true.
I was talking about some of the, barbecue, just like local barbecue places, and they had the audacity, said, yeah, some of the best soul food restaurants are in Philadelphia. I was like, the best.
I've heard that before too, though.
The best.
Mm-hmm.
You think that these places in Philadelphia are better than a mom and pop place down on the Delta? You are going to tell me that?
Well, I've heard it. Like I said, I've heard, because there is like a section of Philadelphia that is basically like this pocket of the South relocated.
You're going to tell me,
like where Patti LaBelle comes from and Gladys Knight comes from, like, because that's where they're from, is Philadelphia.
I have had Patti LaBelle's pie.
Do not slander her on our podcast. Don't slander the pie on our podcast. We've had a discussion about this before. We're going to keep this between ourselves. Do not put that out into the universe, please. Just in case we ever have the opportunity to possibly be her. Let's not do that.
That's true. I don't want to ruin Maim. Chance of meeting Patti LaBelle.
Lord have mercy. Could you imagine? We almost had the opportunity to be like, oh, I know y'all. I know those voices. And then we escorted out. Just, don't do that to me.
How do you didn't like the pie?
You are my friend. Just like, carry me out. I'm just screaming this song. Never do it till then. Patty!
Oh God! So the JB and Grady are at the bar, and the barkeep, whose name is Harry, pours them a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
This orangey red. I don't know what this was. It is the wrong color for anything. Like, it is not a natural. It is just red 40 with a couple of drops of yellow in a cup. They did not drink it.
It's probably just red Kool-Aid.
Red Kool-Aid's not that color, girl. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know what color this was, but it did not look good. The barkeep keeps a wine cork from Hemingway that Hemingway signed.
Whoa.
Isn't that something? Well, Mimi's here, and she's a trend columnist.
Oh, hey, girl.
Yeah, she's gone now. Donna's here, and we meet her, and she is a bubbling. She wants to get married too.
Yeah,
she's
they're both very
blonde.
nervous.
She's very here, and she wants to have a party with her parents tomorrow. Her parents want to meet Grady and have a party, and he's nervous about it. It's very cute. JB asked them what their wedding plans are, and they have not talked about it.
No, at all.
At all.
Not even a little bit.
Do you know how long it took me to plan our wedding, or my husband and I to plan our wedding?
How long?
Like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like it was.
And it was a nice wedding.
Thank you.
It was a nice little wedding, nice little intimate thing.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
As we sat up underneath the black and white picture, I didn't realize that's where we're sitting. It just sort of happened that way.
It's fine.
It's black. It's white. Shimon.
Yeah. There you go.
I just every single time think of the redhead girl doing this. That's like stuck in. Yeah. It's like that image of that video is just stuck in my head.
In my head, I just keep thinking about like the people that had to film it, and all they're doing is like this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They probably were like, just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Just keep on
for
going.
Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
People start crying. They're like, my neck muscles are seizing up. Michael says, keep going. Where is he? He's over there in the corner. You can't see him. He's white right now.
He's white.
Sorry.
He had to run back to Neverland for reasons. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, Jay, we're finally at the table, girl.
Finally, a seat at the table.
A seat at the table. And JB asked for caviar, but they don't have any caviar.
Oh. Also, okay, JB. Like,
yeah.
Like, Cabot, you kind of like leave a little bit of Cabot Cove behind, honey, when you go to the city. No, I have. It's just funny, like her little old Cabot Cove. She's showing herself a little bit on this episode.
Maybe when I come down, we should go someplace bougie.
Oh, I'm not opposed to going somewhere bougie. But I just have to remember to dress appropriately.
The thing is, if we go to someplace bougie, we can't wear shorts. So how about we just go and get some the Schnitzel House.
I love it. You're like, no. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you, Schnitzel House is like temporarily closed. I know. So we're gonna have to go to the old Heidelberg.
Why is it temporarily closed?
I don't know.
Did your group dinner ruin them?
Maybe. No, not that place. The other place. The one that I was originally gonna take you to.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the other place has been around for like 30 years. That's not going anywhere.
Okay, which place is better?
The second one, the one that's more like a theme restaurant that I was like, girl, look at these pictures.
Okay. Wait, is that one the one that's closed, or the other one the one that's closed?
The other one.
Okay, take me to the good one.
Yeah. The ladies are wearing like Oktoberfest outfits, all of it.
Yeah. Dirndls is what it's called.
You can get a boot of beer.
Yep, I've had a boot before.
I'm sure you have.
I don't really like them. They're not comfortable drinking. I just prefer the big stein.
Oh, drinking out of? Gotcha.
Look, that is not my kink. I don't get off on licking shoes. That is not my thing. It is not my.
I'm fascinated by it.
Like I've watched the porn. I've seen the people, and I'm like, ugh.
I think I'm fascinated by all of those, like the boots and the shoes and the feet, and like it's interesting to me because I'm like, what's happening in your brain right now? Like, I would love to know, like, what's firing.
Having a few minor kinks myself. Not really kinks, because kink means you can't get off without it. They are interests. It does tickle a little thing in your brain that's like,
no, that's what I mean. I assume so. That's why it's like
humans can turn anything into that sort of thing if they try hard enough. Like we can associate anything with sex. It's very easy. Sex and money. So
Humans
later on, Alice comes out with an accent.
Very strong accent now.
Very strong accent. So we're now in a taxi. Grady is a mess, and they drop Donna off. Okay. So it's we're back at Alice's restaurant.
Yep.
Chaz is getting some lobster out, and he has the box with the big cans of caviar, and somebody's knocking on Heaven's door.
Oh.
Next page. And next morning,
yes,
we're at Grady's, and there's a phone call.
Okay.
It's Donna. Well, Chaz is dead.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I would feel terrible, but he was such an awful person, it seemed like.
Yeah. How many pages left?
Poor
Okay.
Chaz.
So we're back at Alice's restaurant. And come on, knock on my door.
Come on, knock on my door.
Somebody's waiting for you.
Who is waiting for me?
Anyway, it's Mr. Roper.
Mr. Roper!
He is Lieutenant Rupp, which I believe is their way of saying Roper.
It felt like it, right?
It did, didn't it?
They're like, just in case everybody that's watching doesn't quite remember his character from 10 years ago.
So exactly. So there is a ledger, like with all it's handwritten, all the bills and everything. Dear listeners, back in the day before everything was in the computer,
oh, okay,
you had to have a ledger with all of your ins and outs, like all the money you brought in, all the money you brought out, with the receipts. And that's what an accountant did. Like they put all these things together, and they would actually use a Excel like spreadsheet.
They did all that without computers?
Well, the accountants had computers at this point, but nobody else really did. No, before that, they did it just like...
What?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird?
Did they not even have a calculator on their cell phone?
No, they didn't even have cell phones.
What?
I know. They didn't have... They didn't have shitty AI suggesting things on Google.
What? I'm doing my Gen Alpha impression. What?
Yeah. God.
That's crazy.
So my Google phone had it to where I could text Gemini from my phone. I turned that off immediately. I'm like, no, Google. No. Your AI does not need to talk to me.
Like, I'm sorry, honey. That's not the kind of relationship I'm trying to have with you.
No. Mr. Google machine, you are a machine. And I'm going to need you to stay over there.
Just keep it to yourself, honey. Keep it to yourself.
Well, anyway, lines were whited out in the ledger.
Oh.
And, you could scrape off the whiteout.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I literally was like, what? Is this the same whiteout we used to use?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I was like, we could literally just scrape it off.
I don't.
I mean, it was this would have been different had we had literally not lived through this period of time.
Yeah.
That's what made this episode like, we could have solved a lot of things in a very short amount of time.
Did you like using whiteout? I never did. I just always marked through it with my pen.
Yeah, I liked it.
Kept on going.
I liked whiteout. I liked it better. Remember when they had the one, well, you probably, because you always marked out with your pen. I liked when they had the strip whiteout that you could just, I liked that one a lot. I didn't like the liquid one more because I'm forgetful and forgot to screw the top back on a lot.
We sometimes watch, this is not sponsored, on YouTube. There is a company called Jet Pens that sells Japanese stationery. And they have like a new invention is those whiteout like roller things.
Yes.
But to match the color of the paper so it's not glaringly white.
Oh.
Yeah, and they have it to match all the different shades of paper in Japan.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they also, the new thing this year are whiteboard markers that are like calligraphy tipped. So you can actually do the symbols on the whiteboard correctly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's kind of amazing that's something that nobody had thought to do.
Yeah. Like it's also very soothing to watch these ads because this is the new thing that it's like, oh yeah.
You'll have to send me a link for that. I would like to watch one of those.
Just Jet Pens. Just look at
Jet Pens. Is it one word or two?
JETPENS. One word.
Okay.
Just look at them. There's also this gel pen that will write on white paper and black paper. It dries
like
matte but shiny. It's so cool. What did you say?
Is it like Michael?
Anyway, Lieutenant Rupp asks Donna to investigate the whiteout.
Okay.
So we're at the body. Adi.
The body.
Adi. And he's frozen stiff, but still breathing. We find out that he was knocked on his head, and there was a slash from a serrated blade here.
Oof.
And JB looks around and finds a Swiss Army knife on the floor.
Oh.
Well, Donna's on the phone with her parents outside, and she's like, well, you know, Daddy always said work came first.
It's true.
Alice and Doug arrive, and we find out that Chaz had the register tape in his pocket, and the last person who closes deals with closing out the ledger for the night with the tape and all that.
Yeah.
And we also find that 6 boxes of lobster, which cost 1,500 ruble doll hairs, is gone.
No.
Yeah.
All of that lobster.
You know, I don't like lobster that much. I'm
not. I don't love lobster, but I do like lobster. Like
I like crab better than lobster.
I'm the opposite. I prefer lobster to crab.
The exception being there's a place here that is a Chinese fusion restaurant that their test. So they have a sushi restaurant called M Sushi, and then they have M Test Kitchen where they test new plates to go into M Sushi for the non-sushi portion of stuff.
That sounds great.
And one of the things they have are lobster shumai in champagne butter. Now that, girl.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
That is full of gluten.
But I can eat it.
But you can eat it, girl. You ain't allergic to flour.
I can eat that.
You are not allergic to flour.
No, I am not. I could have a field day with that stuff.
Look, that and their their cold spicy noodles.
Oof.
Oh God. We should go back there soon. I love that place. It's one of my favorite like restaurants. Just A+.
No, it sounds really good.
A+. If you when are you planning to come back up here?
Sometime early next year. I'm actually planning. I mean, nothing's set yet, but yeah, I'm
early next. I thought the way you were making it sound, you're going to start coming up here every month starting like October.
No, girl.
Okay.
I'm not doing all that. So,
Okay.
I mean, I have to like balance stuff, remember? Because what'll probably happen is that I'll be able to, now that this whole like last Thursday thing is working out with Shelly, it'll make it easier for planning that stuff. So Shelly she just did last week and we went just fine and everybody had a good time. So I was like, okay, great. This is going to be a thing. So I'll be able to mentally plan stuff like that now.
Yeah, I just figured you were going to be like, oh, Shelly can do it on last Thursday. I'm done. Just start coming up here those.
Like, pieces, I'm out.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I'll bring a wig.
Well, you know, you say that. Actually, you could, in theory, come up for Thanksgiving.
It's true. It's true.
I mean,
although, I think for some reason, is it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I can't remember. I can't remember if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, but my family is actually going to be spending one of those holidays at Myrtle Beach.
What?
Yeah, they're doing like my brother got like one of his timeshares he got for like one of the holidays. You gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You looked like I had smacked you very hard in the face.
It's just, you know, it's not the most non-racist place in the world.
It's not gotten any better than the last time I was here 20 years ago.
I mean, the place with the lawn jockeys is closed down, if that's what you're asking. But
Oh no.
but beyond that,
Tar Baby.
Tar Baby, yes, girl.
Nothing stranger than having breakfast at a place called Tar Baby and nobody there really thinking anything of it.
So JB and Grady, although I will say that the Medieval Times has a new show.
Is it still taking place in the medieval times?
Yes, of course it is. Where you have to eat with your hands.
Oh, is that the show?
No, have you never been to Medieval Times?
No.
Girl, it is tacky. It's like a jousting competition and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's
I mean,
hilarious.
I've been to like plenty of Ren fairs, so I'm like,
It's just they serve you a half rotisserie chicken and a shitty soup and a quart on the cob.
But I'm so used to Ren fairs having the giant turkey legs.
No. It's half a rotisserie chicken.
Well, that's not a good way to do that. If you're gonna represent.
There's also a pirate one.
What?
Yeah, there's a pirate themed one too.
I would be interested in that one.
Okay.
You know how much I love pirates.
I did not.
Yeah, I like pirates.
Okay. So JB and Grady are talking about Donna's parents. We find out that Donna's dad fired Grady like right out of college. Like
Grady's been fired so many times.
Well, Mimi walks away, or what the hell am I saying? Grady picks up the phone. It's Mimi calling, and she wants to see JB for a late breakfast.
Oh, okay.
So we're at another restaurant called Valentino's, and there's lots of fake laughter going on the speakers. Like, ha!
A lot of background noise.
They just turned on the laugh track. We found out from Mimi that Alice used to work here, and so did Doug and Chaz. So they left en masse to go open up their own restaurant over there.
Not en masse.
Look over there.
Here's your crown and scepter.
Oh, goodness. You know that I don't believe that she won that season, right?
Yes, I know.
Do you know who I think won that season?
Gigi?
No, absolutely not. In the final, absolutely not.
Oh, in the final? Oh, Crystal.
Crystal, yeah. It was the most creative thing that has ever happened on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I agree. Oh no, I still to this day thought she should have won that.
Yeah.
You know,
like that, taking the time to do that weird ass animation is literally yeah. Fantastic.
You know how it is. It's not always the thing that gets the crown. I'm gonna need you to start watching Global so we can talk about it.
My husband is drag raced out, so I have to watch that on my own.
How can he be drag raced out? That's not allowed. It's part of our code.
Girl, I'm nearly drag raced out.
Don't say that.
I'm like,
RuPaul, if you're listening to this, don't listen.
Oh, well, look. I'm keeping up with the RuPaul franchises now. Like anything that says RuPaul's.
Okay.
And what Global is, and I'm going to watch it.
Okay. So that means you're not going to watch Australia anymore.
I never watched Australia. I quit after first season. I thought it was trash.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, it's horrible. It's so bad. They're the least talented international queens. They make Britain look exciting. They make Britain look like they can lip sync.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Wow. Speaking of, good job, Cheryl, learning how to fucking lip sync, right? Like she's always okay, but like,
yeah. I will say that actually that it's not like a thing, right?
Yeah.
But on one of the episodes of Global, like RuPaul basically asked a person about that, and they were like, "We don't do that in my country." And it was a weird, awkward moment. Like it was an awkward moment because RuPaul was just like, "Oh," like it was
What country?
very. I can't remember which country. I don't want to tell you the country
Okay.
because then it'll be. But like literally, it was like a moment
Okay.
that you saw like on RuPaul's face, like like RuPaul looked on her face, like I just assumed this was at least a thing that you. I mean, I know you guys do all sorts of drag, but I assumed you knew how to lip sync to a song.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It was a weird moment. I was like, honey, all drag ain't the same. All drag is not the same.
No, but if you're going on RuPaul's Drag Race, you should know how to lip sync. Like,
I mean, they don't know how to sew.
thank God Candy didn't win.
I never use the expression if you're going to go on Drag Race, then this ever again, because what was it when she said I haven't touched a sewing machine?
Uh-huh.
What?
Well, we find out that Mimi's story is about people who invest in restaurants. It's not about the murder.
Oh, so like Jessica.
Yes.
Okay.
Mimi gets a phone call, and her fingernail designer was just arrested, so she has to go bail them out because she's got a party to go to tonight.
Oh, no.
And she's like, Jennifer, you're a writer. Send me your bio.
I don't understand. I mean, I know this is probably part of the joke of this particular episode, but I feel like she's quite disrespectful to Jessica.
Yeah, she is.
The whole time. Like, this lady is probably more famous than you, I'm assuming.
So we meet Sonny Bono finally.
Yes.
And he picks the bill up. Right? He pays for everything. After they cut the noise, the background noise. You hear, and so he pays for the bill, which Mimi told Jessica, gave her 20, was like, hey, I always pay my own way. You pay for it. So we're at the police station, and we found out that Chaz actually cashed out early.
Oh.
Because part of the reason that this happened is JB, when she was checking out at Valentino's, he was like, it's easier than starting a new tape anyway. Just go ahead and let you go. So we found out that Chaz cashed out early, and the lieutenant's like, well, great. You're all going to stay here and figure this out this weekend. And if not, I'm going to arrest you, and you won't be processed till Monday, so you're going to be here anyway.
Mr. Roper was being a bit of a dick on this episode.
Mr. Roper was always kind of a bit of a dick.
Oh, that's true.
It was Mrs. Roper that wasn't the dick.
Yes.
Did she know that Jack wasn't gay?
No.
Okay.
She hits on Jack all the time.
Oh, that's right.
She's always trying to have sex with him.
Okay.
Which was awkward because she was married to Mr. Roper.
God. I love the painting on of those two onto Mr. and Mrs. Bighead. At least that's what I always did. Because Mrs. Bighead and Rocco. Yeah. And Rocco's obviously a little homosexual.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
I forgot he worked in a sex line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, remember, the love interest was not for him. So
I'm a wild pig.
Right? Like, if you go back and look at that show again, there are things that's like, it goes so deep. Those people knew it was like subversive underneath subversive underneath subversive.
Well, we're back at Alice's, and Alice does not know who did it.
No.
With regards to the stealing stuff.
Oh, okay.
And Doug's like, yes, you do. It's Chaz. Chaz is the one who was stealing everything. And they're sitting down, eating the fish. And Doug, Alice is like, yeah, this was frozen, but it was left out this morning because Doug took it out. And he's like, no, I didn't. And JB's like, oh, no. So they go, and we find the murder weapon, which is the fish skeleton.
It's always this fish.
It's
Fish,
hunting.
honey,
God,
fish.
stay out my
Fish,
head,
honey.
bitch.
Fish, honey.
Giving
Fish.
serving fish.
Tilapia. Cod. Yeah.
Why did you choose two of them? Tilapia. The most worthless fish.
Come on, tilapia. Honey, mahi, baby. I don't know what I'm doing.
You gonna keep going? Like you will throw more out there, or are you good?
I don't know a lot of fish because I don't eat a lot of seafood, so I don't know.
Done?
Yeah. Although I did learn a really cool fact about fish.
Okay.
In Japan,
Uh-huh.
they actually have like around Japan, you know, the island of Japan. They
Right.
have
Story's going wonderful.
They have 1,500 different species of fish,
Okay.
which I thought was really interesting. But they were doing a thing I watched on that NHK about that, and they're trying to encourage people to stop eating the same old fish all the time because they're depleting things so terribly. So I thought it was really interesting. 1,500. That was I was really surprised by that.
North Carolina has 900 itself, girl.
Does it?
Yes.
Wow.
Like 1,500 seems kind of small.
1,500 species of fish?
Yes. Yeah, because it's a huge. You've got to think because you're going all the way from Hokkaido down to Okinawa. You would think that with all the rivers and streams and all that kind of stuff, that there would be a lot of biodiversity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah.
Gosh,
maybe.
I didn't know North Carolina had that many species of fish.
Girl,
That's
did you know
wild.
we have the most number of species of like fungus in the world?
North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. So
is that why I love mushrooms so much?
Let me also add in. North Carolina is the area of North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, over to like the Mississippi are very specific and very different than the rest of a lot of places. We are actually a rainforest. People forget this. We are a deciduous rainforest. So that could be part of the biodiversity that we have that exceeds Japan's because they are not a rainforest, right?
Yeah.
So
that's true. I was trying to explain that to somebody. It's hard to explain to people down here. I was like, oh yeah, it's like I said it's a rainforest once, and they were like, what? I was like, yeah. And I kept forgetting that other word, the deciduous, because I was like, I know this from like school. Yeah. Like it's very, that part of the country is very specific. And they just thought I was like just BSing.
People from like Florida, when they come up to North Carolina, are always really surprised about just how lush and green it is.
Yep.
Because down there, it's green, but it doesn't look the same. Like it's not all these big ass trees that are just green from the air everywhere.
Well, that's why I tell a lot of times that people go up there for trips or visits. I always, when they come back down, like, I love it there. I'm like, you love the trees.
Yeah.
And they always look at me like, what? I'm like, you love the trees. I was like, I'm just telling you, like, that's what it is. You see all of these, and depending on whatever the season is, right? The trees are in a different state too. Yeah. So like, it's either luscious green or these beautiful golds and reds.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you fell in love with there because it was not
when I flew down to Austin for the first time. It was in the winter and it was like desolate brown, like it was ugly. And I landed and I was getting my car, my rental car, and I was like, I just have a question to ask because the dude was from Michigan. I was like, is it always this fucking brown? I mean, I've been to like Vegas in the middle of the desert and it's not as ugly as this. He's like, yes. There's like 3 months out of the year that we get the grasses turn green, then they just turn right back brown. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, I don't know. I tell people that I've actually said, me, I don't say almost like 1,000 good things about where I come from, but I will tell people right away.
It's pretty.
The western part of our state is
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It really is.
Absolutely gorgeous. Like I always think about going up to the mountains. I'm like, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Where are we at? Okay, good.
Back to New York.
Back to New York City. New York City.
Get a rope.
So we're at the police, and the lieutenant's like, well, so they use the fish because they plan on getting rid of the weapon, and JB's like, no. I think they grabbed it because it was handy. So, ooh, Lord, let me not do that. I had a little thing pop up. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we're at the restaurant again. And we're Grady and Donna are sitting there, and Grady's asking Donna how it's going. And Donna's like, well, I'm assessing the value of the lobster and the caviar. And Grady gets very mildly snippy with her. Like, okay, I think we should be doing what the lieutenant asked us to and not, deviating because we want to get out of here. Right?
Yes.
Did you think it was rude or snippy or mean at all?
I didn't think it was snippy. I can see though. I think that Grady's sharpness has just as much to do with his nerves about everything. Which, unfortunately
I didn't even think it was sharp at all.
Honey,
yeah.
When you're a sensitive, petite little,
She's not that petite. I don't mean that she's fat or that she's tall. Like, she's not a small, tiny little lady. That hair alone weighs 25 pounds.
Girl, I actually kind of was like, I wanted that wig a little bit. I wasn't lying. I thought about that a lot.
I don't think that was wiggery. I don't. I think it was just the hair of the time.
She needs to sue somebody then. She needs to go to Vidal Sassoon salon and lodge a complaint, girl.
That she had used a little bit too much.
She got Ogilvy Harrell. Get that Ogilvy home perm, honey.
So we find out that other investors from Chaz were just handwritten with their initials. Mimi's one of them.
Oh no.
So Alice and JB share a cab as JB goes talk to Mimi. Donna and JB share a cab, not Alice. Donna's very upset because Grady just yelled at her. And she's like, he reminded me of my father, and I just want to be a housewife. I want to be a traditional housewife.
Just you saying it again in a joking capacity, I feel nauseous.
I don't know where they're going to live in New York on a failed accountant salary.
As much as Grady loses his jobs.
Yeah, girl, you got to think about A1 yourself. As a dear friend of mine once said, either buy the house yourself or make sure that your name is on it, because you can't trust them to pay for everything.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't.
Jamie's just like, we'll talk to Grady. She's like, fine. Just warning you, fair warning, there's a storm here, so we could lose power at any moment.
Better bring in the chickens, honey. Storms are coming.
Tyler, Sadie, get your asses inside.
Mama, we don't want to come inside. You said we could stay out till dark.
Girl, do they still call young gay men chickens?
No, that's what we call them, twinks now.
Well, they were twinks too, but they were also chickens.
Twinks was not a thing that we used back in the 80s and 90s as much as chickens. Not as much as chickens back then. Remember, I had the siblings, so
that's true. Oh, goodness. We're at the publishers. JB talks to Mimi. She hands her the $20 back. She's like, oh my God, no, not here. If my editor found out I paid for something, because of non-competition agreement, etc., conflict of interest, I can be fired. And then JB confronts her about being an investor, and she's like, yes, I was an investor, but I have an alibi. I was with Doug doing the dirty all night.
Oh.
Bomb chicken.
There's nothing about that that's great. Nothing.
Well,
like
we go to Valentino's because she's like, well, who would want lobster? So JB goes to Valentino's and he offers to do a cookbook with her. And she finds the lobster boxes and they're the same supplier as Alice.
Oh.
And Sonny Bono is like, hey, where else am I going to find lobster and caviar at reasonable prices? Well, Grady calls JB at, I love how people just randomly know where other people are. Calls her at Valentino's like, hey, Donna dumped me. Well, first says that happened again, and she's like, a murder? I mean, in this show, who knows?
Yeah, literally.
He's like, no, she just dumped me. So we're back at Alice's. Grady is like, she won't marry me. And he just says he wants a wife. He wants a traditional wife. He's like, it makes me sick to say it, but I just want a wife. A little waifu. Ugh.
Just gross.
Well, Lieutenant's here. He booked Valentino for murder. And they figure out that Chaz had an associate.
Oh.
Because JB's like, it makes no sense for Valentino to do the murder. He was receiving the stuff. Well, who brought it to him? We must have had an associate. And that they look over at Harry, who can't open his little drawer where he keeps the cork because he doesn't have his pocket knife.
Whoa, Harry.
So he admits that he's Chaz's supplier, and he found him in the freezer but left. And then Grady's like, well, Donna mentioned the lobster and the caviar, and JB gets a light bulb over her head.
Not a good light bulb.
So we're at Donna's, and JB's here in a nice little black and white number. I really like the color on that one. Anyway.
Yeah, it looks cute.
It's like my Miss Georgia World for the last episode that didn't actually have Miss Georgia World, right? Like
yes,
this fit was fierce. And JB's like, well, how'd you know the caviar was missing? And because she saw Chaz take it, Donna breaks down. She was defending herself. There was an accident. There was a fish. She hit him with it. Yada, yada, yada.
The usual.
Yeah. It's all because she confronted him about money, and he said, no, come back later. She caught him stealing because he wanted her to, and he offered to have her in, and he hit her, and she hit him and stabbed him with the fish, and blah, 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 blah. Well, we're back at the police department. They decide it was self-defense, but Donna needs to talk to the DA on Monday. She's just completely okay after having killed a person.
I was gonna say, she literally should be still going to a trial of some kind because.
Well, if the DA decides not to press charges, if it is in self-defense,
I get that, but she should at least be in custody.
She could be. She should be. Yes. Especially since she's planning on leaving the town.
I watch Perry Mason. I know these things.
Donna and Grady get back together, and she's like, I have something to tell you. Grady's like, I know about everything. She's like, no, I don't want to be an accountant. I want to be a trad wife. And he's like, why did he tell you? That's fine. Now, bitch, start cleaning. Also, I don't want to see your father because he fired me. And she's like, oh, he fired me too. Do 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 do. Hey, Maim.
It feels more ominous after this episode.
Did you like this episode, Maim?
It was fine until they got to the trad wife stuff, thing, and I'm just like, seriously? Are we gonna actually? Okay, yeah, that was where I was a little lost.
Yeah. I was thinking back in high school and all of the just ugh. Like I was just thinking about some of the people and the parents I knew back then.
Yeah.
Ugh. I was thinking of one whose like family was a traditional family.
Yes.
Like the father worked, mother didn't. At least I think they were traditional in that sense. I could be wrong, but they always kept up the guise of being in a traditional family, like in having traditional morals and like ideas. And this came up because Laotian restaurant last night we went to. A couple dishes you're expected to eat with your hands, right? Like they give sticky rice, you pick up the stuff, you just eat with it, right? That's what you do. I can understand some people don't like to get mess on their hands.
Sure.
And I believe you're one of them, if I remember correctly. Like,
I'm okay with it.
But
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it if my fingernails are cut.
Gotcha.
If I forget, yeah, because then I get really weird about germs if I haven't cut my fingernails in a bit, because I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, because I like, but this family was very specific that they, after praying for every meal, before every meal, which is fine. I respect that. Gotta do what you gotta do. Jesus hated public prayer. Throwing that out there, just saying that, hated it. One of the things that is just in the Bible, man,
actually in the Bible,
sitting there quietly beating his chest. Yeah. Like one thing he hates. Anyway. Also making money from the church, and you tell some of your old preachers that. Didn't like that one either. But we were at Logan's, and you remember how you used to, eat the peanuts through the shell on the floor?
Yes.
Parents made him not throw them on the floor, keep them on the table to be scooped up later. I thought this was the weirdest thing in the world. While I was eating with them, I was just doing it. They're like, we'd prefer for you not to. I'm like, meh.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's why, I mean,
that's
how the restaurant works. Like, that's their thing.
Yeah. Like I was like, we prefer for you not to. I was like, I'm not going to listen to you. This is what
you're not my parents.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I was 12, 13 at the time. What you going to do? You could take me home.
Nothing with you at that age. Like, nothing. Because you were nothing.
Yeah.
You're full of piss and vinegar.
That's pretty much it. Yep. You know who this was, right? That I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. There's no question in my mind who this could have possibly even been. Yes.
It could have potentially been my first gay experience. Was not. Oh. Girl?
What?
Oh, you are still there. What happened?
I don't know.
Like the Zoom thing came up over your face?
Oh no. Yeah, Zoom objects to my appearance. Zoom thinks I'm ugly now. Fine.
But like did not, because my father sort of walked in as we were thinking about getting. Yeah.
Those instincts, honey. Them instincts kicked in.
Uh-huh.
That's that enhanced dad vibes from the cocaine.
Yeah.
Amplified it.
Oh, please. I'm sure he's had a blowjob from a dude.
We talked about that before.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I like whatever. Anyway. We've covered Do You Like This? Hey, Maim.
Yes.
Why don't you show our dear listeners where they can find you to wrap this shit up?
Yes, seriously. Hey, dear listeners, it's me, Auntie Maim, your favorite relation. You can find me all over Miami Beach, hosting karaoke's. I do Mondays at the Gathering Hotel and Thursdays at Killy Rydell. I host a bunch of other stuff too. You can find all that stuff out at I'mYourAuntieMaim.com. How about you, Mims?
Hey, on the Mims. You can find me online at thedivinemims.com. Hey, Maim.
Yes.
We have Patreon.
What?
That's right. Go to Patreon.com. Mims. Maim. You can throw some money. Maim.
Yes.
We have another podcast.
No.
That's right. It's called Baking Sugar.
Oh.
It's our Designing Women podcast, and we're bringing our two back from the grave. Hey, Maim.
Yeah?
Did you know we have merchandise?
No.
MimsMaim.com. Buy something. Hey, Maim.
Yes.
Know what I love?
5-star reviews.
That's right, Maim. I love a 5-star review. Hey, Maim.
Yes.
Do you know our dear listeners can reach out to us?
What?
That's right. They can send us an email at mimsandmaim at gmail.com. Hey, Maim.
Yes.
You have anything else to add?
No.
Then why don't you say goodnight, Maim?
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.